The next movement we're going to do is called a hip bend. It's a very small movement, it's a very important movement, and most people just don't seem to get it. While it's the simplest movement that I teach to my clients, it's also the one that they have the hardest time with. Probably because it is so simple, and also because people spend so much time sitting every day that we've really lost the ability to hinge from our hips. Hinging at the hips means that we are engaging our hamstrings and our glutes in a movement and don't require the lower back to do so much work. This is something that people really struggle with because as you sit in your job every single day, your glutes actually fall asleep and the communication between the glute muscles and the brain almost entirely stops. There's a lot of jokes in there that we could talk about right now, but let's focus on the hip bend. So let's start again with feet facing forward, about hip width apart this time, not quite as far out as before, maybe even a little bit tighter than hip width. Your knees are always still pushed out. Knees out over the second toe. You're going to pull your abs in, and then you're going to place your hands on your thighs. Shoulders are pulled back, chest is up, and the head is facing forward. For the sake of talking to the camera, I'm going to face this way, but I want you to focus in the movement on having your head straight forward so that you're not bending your neck, especially once you start to add weight to this movement. From here, all we're going to do is extend our hips backwards. I want you to focus on the hips. Hips backwards means this. Right about here, I feel a tightening of my hamstring right there that should actually even be visible on the camera. Your abs should be pulled in and tight, and your glutes should feel like they're working as well. This is as far down as I'm coming. The mistake that people make is they feel that that's not enough, and they bend down. This is also why people's back hurts, because when they go to lift a heavy object, they do this, which you can see doesn't really do much back here at all, but my back curves and I have to pick things up from an angle that is not beneficial to the lower back at all. So again, it's just this. Knees are out, hips go back. This pulls, it gets tight and it gets hard. That's when you know you've gone far enough and you come back up. That's a hip bend. Let's move on to the upper body movement.